Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 30 of albums that are 50 years old in 2022 as we look back, as we have been all month, at the great year of music that was 1972. Yes, we arrived at my number two pick, right, for the year of the month. This one actually, a couple weeks ago, was actually slated to be my number one. But then I changed my mind over the last week or so, and I decided that my number two was going to be my number one. Whatever. They're both bands. These albums. I'm going to say that's all I'm going to say because you'll have to wait till tomorrow to get the other one. I think you pretty much know you'll know what it's going to be in a minute. But this is a very special album for me. It's my favorite album from this band. It's been my favorite album from this band for a long time. This is one of my favorite bands of all time. Probably the most important band in my life for the last 45 years, right? Or thereabouts. If not longer than that, right? Because, God, how old am I? 56 now? So, yeah, it's about 45 years, maybe 46 years, something like that. Long time. This is their fourth album. It was released September 25th, 1972 on the Vertigo label, produced by the band along with their manager at the time, Patrick Meehan. I'm talking about Volume 4 by Black Sabbath. No surprise here, right? I know so many of you have predicted this would be one of the top slots of the month, and you were absolutely correct. Shows you how well you guys know me, right? A fantastic album. You know, it's funny when you talk about the discography of Black Sabbath. So many people often cite the first album or Paranoid. Paranoid is the first one I ever heard. If we would have done this, like 35 years ago, I might have said Paranoid, right? Because that was the big Impact album for me, but I've grown to love this album over the years. I loved it when I first got it, but I think over the last 30 years or so, it just really, has consistently been my favorite. Some people Master Reality, right? Some people Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, or some people it might be Sabotage, right? Maybe Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules, Born Again. I'm sure there's folks out there who Never Say Die is the best album. Hey, whatever, right? It's all based on what we like. But for me, there is, usually when I hear people talking about how they might have issues with this album because this is a very experimental album, it's a little, certainly different than the three that came before it, but that's what I like about it so much. I mean, it has some absolute bruisers on here. There's also some good variety on here, as my new phone is bleeping all over the place. I did get a new cell phone. It's woohoo. But, I mean, Wheels of Confusion. Amazing. It's heavy, but it's also very adventurous, and there's definitely some experimenting going on there. There's a little bit of prog rock going on there. Great. Tomorrow's Dream is just an absolute crusher. For me, Changes, never really a big fan of. That for me, that's the one track on here that just doesn't just do much for me. And it's it's their kind of popular ballad from here, but for me, you take Changes off of here, I wouldn't blink. FX is that little, obviously a little instrumental thing, right? Then you've got Supernaut. Supernaut is absolutely killer. What a killer riff! It's just a great bulldozing, brutal, doom stoner classic from this band. And then one of my favorite Sabbath songs of all time, Snowblind, is up next. Adore that. And then, the back end of the album is really good. You got a lot of varied stuff on here. You got the wonderful Cornucopia, Laguna's Sunrise, St. Vitus Dance. Amazing. Under the Sun. So heavy and crushing. I love the production on this album. It's just dark and muddy and moody and heavy, and it's exactly what it needs to be. Exactly what it needs to be. I don't know. I've always just adored this album. And, just classic stuff. Hold on, just want to get that. There we go. This is obviously a reissue from a few years back. There's the rest of the guys in the band. Wanted to show this all off here. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just love this album to death. Love it to death. Sabbath at their absolute zenith. Volume 4 is my pick for day 30, which is actually my number 2 pick of the month. Number 1 coming tomorrow, the final day of the month, the 31st. So you're going to get my number 1 pick of 1972, along with an extra special bonus episode, which I'm going to just rattle off a whole bunch of honorable mentions, because I do want to give mention to a lot of other albums that I really do like a lot. They just didn't make the cut because there were hundreds and hundreds of great albums released in 1972. You can't name them all, right? So I'm just going to go through a long list of stuff that I really dig a lot, but they weren't quite going to make this cut of 31. So there you have it. Please list your pick for day number 30 down in the comments below, as well as any comments you want to give on the great Volume 4 from Black Sabbath. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube together all the damn time. I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you tomorrow morning with another one of these fun episodes. Till then, have a good one. See you.